Look, Walter, you've got a good thing going here. We all do. You really want to risk it all on one junkie? I mean, I get that you and the kid got history, but he has been on the bubble for a while now. It's been a long time coming. So thanks for your offer, but no thanks. Mike, look, I know that you don't care for the kid. Even you and I have had our differences, but I strongly encourage that you leave emotion out of this decision. I am. Look, Walter, Jesse is trouble. I'm sorry that you can't see it, but I sure as hell do. That kid is a time bomb, tick, tick, ticking away. And I have no intention of being around for the boom. Mike Ehrmantraut, former police officer, sits in a room with the legendary Walter White. The two men discuss business, morality, and the fate of a young man. Mike is trying to convince Walter that his companion Jesse Pinkman spells trouble for their business, and in their business, trouble requires removal. Walter, showing his utmost resistance to this idea, leaves Mike with few options. So he recounts on a time when he was still in uniform. Half Measures from Breaking Bad by Vince Gilligan. Sit down, Walter. Let me tell you a story. I used to be a beat cop way back in the day, and I got called out on domestic calls, hundreds probably, over the years. But there was this one guy, this one real piece of shit, that I will never forget. His name was Gordy, and he kind of looked like Bo Svensson. You remember him from Walking Tall? You don't remember, whatever. Well, this guy, big boy. Something like 270 or 280. Well, his wife, she was real small, like a bird. She had these wrists like little branches. Well, every weekend, me and my partner, we'd get called out there, and one of us would pull her aside and we'd say, "Come on, tonight's the night. We gotta press charges on this guy." Well, she'd never do it. And I don't think that this is one of those deep down he really loves me setups. I knew better than that. This girl was scared. She was not gonna cross him. No way, no how. So we just did what we could. We'd pass her off to the EMTs. We'd throw him in the drunk tank. He sleeps it off. Next morning, he goes right back home. Well, one night, my partner's out of town. And it's just me. So, I get the usual call. It's the same old crap. Broke her nose in the shower kind of thing. Well, I do all the normal stuff, and I'm driving him into town. And it's just like any other night, except this sideways asshole is in my back seat humming Danny Boy. And it just rubbed me wrong. So instead of left, I go right out into the middle of nowhere. And once I'm fairly into the desert, I stop the car, and I get him out, and I put him down on his knees. And then I take out my revolver, and I put it into his mouth, and I say, "This is it. This is how it ends." And you know, he's crying and going to the bathroom all over himself, pleading to God, saying he's never gonna touch her again. screaming, really. As much as you could with a gun in your mouth. Well, I tell him to shut the hell up, because I needed to think about what I was going to do there. And so, of course, he gets quiet. And he gets all stiff, too. And I mean real quiet. Kind of like a dog waiting for dinner scraps. Well, we just stand there for a little bit. Me acting like I'm thinking things over for him. And Prince Charming, knees in the dirt with shit in his pants. Well, after a few minutes, I take my gun back out of his mouth. And I look at him and I say, "So help me, if you ever touch that woman again, I swear I will such and such and such and such and blah, 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 blah." Just a warning. Of course, I was just trying to do the right thing. But 2 weeks later, he kills her. Caved her head in with the base of a Waring blender. We got there, and there was so much blood that you could taste it in the air. You know what the moral of the story is? I took a half measure when I should have gone all the way. That's not something I'm soon to forget. No more half measures, Walter.